What's up? This is Brother Tim. I'm live at the Shisha Lounge on High Street. Feel free to come out and join me if you want. But now, what's going on is I'm trying to get my stuff together. So, here we go. Now, today, I want to look at the positive side of shame. I know a lot of you is like, oh, Brother Hatim, how could you go there? Shame is such a bad thing. It's such a bad word. And in order for us to really get into this conversation, we have to go and look at some of the definitions of shame. Of course, you know, I got some stories for you. I want us to really look at this concept because in my community, shame is a big thing, and shame definitely can be very negative and very destructive in life when it is applied in the wrong way. But there is a such thing as a good side of shame. Now, let me explain where I'm coming from. Now, being a Giami man, one of the things that we do in Giami, or in my tribe, is we make sure that people understand definitions of some of the words that we use, because like every culture or everybody's trying to form a culture in some form or fashion, you have to have a unified language, because language is an important part of culture. So we want to make sure that everybody understands what is being said. So we define things, and one of the concepts, one of the ideas that I try to cultivate within Giami, within anybody on the journey, at least following the method, the process that I lay out. By no means am I saying that my way is the only way. There are thousands of ways, or the way that I'm walking, let me put it more like that, is the only way. There are thousands of ways that get us to the mountaintop of life. I'm just exploring the path that I'm on, the journey that I'm on, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping that you are enjoying yours. But on those that's walking the path with me, one of the things that I constantly stress to them is this thing we call an unbalanced 7. You might hear me say -7 every now and then, but it's not really negative. It's more unbalanced. In the African Open Institute Tree of Life, they talk about the 7 unbalanced passions. They don't say negative in the African Open Institute Tree of Life. They say unbalanced. And those 7 unbalanced principles, those 7 unbalanced passions, when they are unbalanced, what they do is they move us away from God. They move us away from the Creator. They move us away from who we really are, because those 7 unbalanced passions are opposed to consciousness. They do not want you to be conscious. They do not desire for you to become conscious, because in becoming conscious, you move beyond your ego. You move beyond the little you and move towards the bigger you. Right now, the little you is running your life. Right now, the little you is what is in control, and the little you wants to stay in control. And some of the tools that are used to help you stay where you are, stay stuck, are these unbalanced 7. And they are only a threat to us when they're unbalanced. Those are fear, envy, greed, sloth, lust, anger. I missed one. Fear, envy, greed, pride, lust, sloth, and anger. So, I left pride out the first time. So it's fear, envy, greed, pride, sloth, lust, and anger. There you go. All 7 of them right there. And these 7 are opposed to consciousness, because these 7 keep you tied into the body. Now, I want to get into the whole shame piece in a second here, but I need you to understand that these unbalanced, let me stop saying negative, these unbalanced passions keep you away from really exploring who You really are. And the mother of all of them, of course, is fear. But I want to say this, with the unbalanced passion, there is a balance side, because there is a healthy side of fear. We have a healthy fear of falling. We have healthy fears that make it possible and have made it possible throughout time for human beings to exist. There is a healthy pride. There is a healthy envy. There is a healthy anger. These things can be healthy. These things can be brought into balance. It's only when they are out of balance that they become a danger. They become a breathing, living entity that's sucking the very life and the very joy out of living. So I wanted to look at the concept of shame, because although it's not one of the negative seven, it's definitely unbalanced seven. It definitely is one of the children of fear. Shame, when we look at the definition, basically it states the painful feeling arising from the consciousness of something dishonorable, improper, ridiculous, etc., done by oneself or another. Number 3, disgrace, ignominy. I got these big lips, y'all, so you got to excuse me. I try to say these words. Number 4, fact or circumstance bringing disgrace or regret. Somewhere in this thing called time and this path called life, we have lost a healthy sense of shame. We have allowed shame to be put in a place that is unhealthy for us, because we no longer, in a sense, have it in the way that I think is healthy. Right now it's unbalanced, because shame is put with those shame and guilt, and those things that have been used. Shame has been used in a negative way for so long now that we only think that shame is something that is negative. So we have basically become a culture without shame. We got all these conservatives running around talking about principles. We got all these liberals running around talking about freedom and being who you are. And neither one of them is really focusing on the shame that they're bringing on our country, and that they're bringing on the system that we say is the best in the world, and the shame that they are bringing upon the very citizens that they represent. Shame. Shame is important in a society in this way. Shame helps keep people in line. In some cultures, feeling a sense of shame is so deep that individuals, once they have brought it upon themselves and it spread to their family, they will eliminate themselves from life. Shame. Shame is a driving force that helps keep people in line within the society. When you no longer can function in the society, there is a shame that goes along with that. And that shame not only attaches to you, but it attaches to everyone around you. Now, what I'm noticing, and this maybe it's just me, there's no sense of shame in this country anymore. Now, I'm going to deal specifically with my community. There is we have lost a sense of shame in our community. You know, we could do whatever we want because we're free. We're individuals. What I do does not affect anybody else. At least that's the idea. But the fact of the matter is that everything I do affects everything around me. Quantum physics shows us this. Hell, our basic life shows us this. More than likely, if you are a thug, there's a good chance your child is going to become a thug. If you are a thief, there's a good chance that stigma may may infect your child. That idea may infect your child and also may destroy your child's life. We need to be clear, very clear. Shame help us stay in line. Now I'm gonna read a piece from my book. This is called The Warrior's Handbook for Life's Journey, the Gianni Method. I haven't released it yet, but in here, let's see. I talk about the process. Remember, we always talking about processes, and there's not just one process. So please, don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in the foolishness. This process that I'm talking about, as far as this book, this process will push you to what you will consider your limits and beyond them. By you investing in the process, you will become a better person and be able to serve your tribe, your community, your family. The most important job of a warrior and a nation builder is humble service. We serve and protect our young and set the example for them as they grow into adulthood. This is a very important thing and needs individuals who are committed to our young people, for they are the future. What type of future we gonna have if no one has shame? If everybody can just do what it is that they feel without any regard for how it affects anybody around them? How are you supposed to really seriously build a community when everybody can just do whatever they want? Now, I'm not getting into the whole sexuality thing. I'm talking about truly shameful behaviors that cause pain, that are dishonorable, that are improper, that are ridiculous. I'm quite sure that some of you that's listening can identify some of these behaviors that go on in your community, that go on in your schools, that go on in your city governments, that go on in your community organizations, that go on in your church. Nobody feels shame no more, so there's nothing to hold them back. There's no personal drive within them to say, hey, this is wrong. Man, I feel bad about that. I can basically get out and do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? It don't affect nobody. If I go to jail, it won't affect nobody. Even though I got 3 kids out here, it won't affect nobody if I go to jail. You know what I'm saying? It won't affect my mother. You know what I'm saying? If I do something stupid and lose my life. We need to go and ingrain a sense of shame within ourselves. We need to go and look at that shame and bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Some of this shit that I'm hearing on the radio, shameful. Some of this shit that's on TV for the kids to see at any given time is shameful. It's shameful what we allow to happen in our community. Some of the shit going on at these corner stores is shameful. Some of the ways that some of our people are dressing is shameful. Some of the ways we spend our money is shameful. But because we don't feel no shame, so what? Now, in my book, I say the warrior's job is to set the example for the future generations. If we do not let children know that they have a certain responsibility and a certain role by demonstrating that, by letting them live that vicariously while they are young through us, how are they going to live when they grow up? If they could do anything, how are they going to grow up and what choices are they going to make? You want to make sure that your child stays safe. You need to make sure that they understand that everything they do affects you. It reflects upon you. And stop going to places and defending individuals for doing shameful things. We stand up for individuals that's doing shameful shit. Parents go and fight for their kids when they doing shit that is shameful. You need to let them know it's shameful, and you still need to show them love, but you need to let them know that what they doing is affecting others. Now, I'm going to play some music real quick. This is a track by the Mark Lomax Trio, and it's called Stuck in a Rut. I will be back with you in a minute. I'm back. Yo, hey. Check 1, 2. Yeah, this mic is tripping on me. But here we go. So I'm away for a second, and I got one hit up on Facebook, and I want to thank Brother Melly Mel for checking me out. But hey, now so here we go. Now I'm gonna start this portion. Cause I ain't gonna hold you up too long. I understand it's Friday night. I'm gonna do this section I'm gonna start with a story from ASAP, because this kind of explains where we are. And it's called The Rich Man and the Tanner. A rich man lived near a tanner. For those that don't know, a tanner was somebody who would take skins and basically tan them. This is back in the day before we got leather and was able to go to the stores. We used to have to go to tanners. They still tan leather, but we don't have to be that close to it. A rich man lived near a tanner, and not being able to bear the unpleasant smell of the tan yard, he pressed his neighbor to go away. The tanner put off his departure from time to time, saying that he would leave soon. But as he still continued to stay, as time went on, the rich man became accustomed to the smell, and feeling no manner of inconvenience, made no further complaints. I think that's sort of what we have developed for the concept of shame. We develop a tolerance for bullshit. And I think our tolerance is just a little bit too high. I believe in forgiveness, and I believe everybody should be forgiven, but I think forgiveness is a process as well, and it should take some time so that people can reflect on their anger, or your group can reflect on their anger and their disappointment and heal, and you can reflect on it and heal as well. Like the rich man, we become accustomed to the smell. We become accustomed to individuals walking down the street with their pants hanging all the way off their ass. We're accustomed to children cussing in front of elders. We grew accustomed to people basically just disrespecting true elders. We grew accustomed to angry black women and sad black men, and we justify their actions with bullshit and hide behind this idea of forgiveness, not really realizing that it's destroying us. It's destroying us. Some of the behaviors that I am seeing, and I can go through Facebook right now and pull up a whole bunch of shameful shit that one day your child is going to be sitting down looking at, like, wow, man, you had your ass out like that? Wow, Dad, you talking like this and doing this on Facebook? You was that dumb to tell them that you was doing this on Facebook? We have to get back to where we come from. Melly Mel's comment was this. I lost it. Melly Mel's comment was saying when we lost our own cultural taste, interest, and values. We allow our culture to be influenced by media rather than having our culture influence media. At one point in time, our culture influenced the direction in which media went. Now it's vice versa. We allow media to control where our lives go. Check 1, 2. I'm back up. So I lost signal for a minute, but it appeared that we have this. Well, I was talking about the reality TV, and some of the shit that I'm seeing on there is just ridiculous, and we need to pull up. At one point in time, I was saying that our culture influenced the direction of media. Now it seems that it's in vice versa, and we need to get that back, especially those of us that come out of hip-hop, because part of hip-hop is being able to control media with the things that we do. And right now, I'm not seeing that. I'm hearing rappers that's all coming out of the same line, the same mental modality. I'm not really seeing the creativity, and this is what's crazy to me, because now everything is becoming mass produced. And at one point in time in our culture, we used to take the little we had and make it unique. Now we're trying to be like everybody else, and if shameful behaviors are broadcast on TV, those are the behaviors that we are going to see. There was some studies done, I think in the 1950s, and I can't remember the name of the psychologist who did them, but there was a study done where they looked at children and how TV could influence children. So what they did was they took one of those old dials with the little bottom that when you hit it, it bounces back up, and they did a demonstration on a TV for the kids to see if the kids would copy the violent behavior. So they had somebody take a mallet and start beating this dummy, and they noticed that the children not only did what they saw on the TV, they got creative with it. And I know that in a sense this is what's happening with us. I'm looking at some of the behaviors that go on in some of these schools, and some of these kids are acting out some of the stuff that they see on TV. I mean, we know this is a fact, but yet and still, we have not, to our own shame, our own disgrace, have not really said anything about it. We say stuff about everything else, but we don't say nothing about these people that's influencing and destroying our kids. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play my sister real quick, then I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go home and go to bed. So this is Miss Ophelia and her song, Miss You. I'm waiting for her to come out with something new.
While you were there, dude, I've been like conquering the world.
Everywhere I go, I see your face, and it makes me wanna say, I miss you, baby. I miss you, baby. Oh, I wanna know her name, and does she treat you the same? She'll never be like me. I got nothing to say. And everywhere I go, I see your face, and it makes me wanna say, I miss you, baby. I miss you, baby.
I'm back, and I'm about to get up out of here. I'd like to thank you for coming out. First off, I forgot to send out shots to those things I love. First, I want to send out shots to Oxy Water. I want to send out shots to Orange 82. Thanks for the music, the intro and exit music. You're about to hear some Orange 82 in a second. I call it surf music. I'm going to get a host. One of my stations is going to be dedicated to DJ Chad. DJ Delford Chad, and let him go on and do a little surfing channel. So those of you that want to stay up late at night, you could tune in and have some music where you could peruse the internet all night to surfing music. That's what I like to call it. Now, I also want to send out shots to Unidade Capoeira, under the leadership of Monitor Dentista. You can look all those things up. Just put a www dot in front of the name that I just said, and you be cool. Be sure to check me out at www.giamijourney.com. I got a blog coming. I'm slowly getting back into my writing, but I'm gonna get back into it. And also, you can check out my shows. Check me out on Mile 3. You just go to my Spreaker station, www.spreaker.com /HA2TIM. Check me out on Mile 3. Check out my folk tales for grown folks, where I go a little bit more in depth into some of these folk tales, because I think we really need to start sharing that with ourselves as adults as well as with kids. But a lot of my stuff is explicit, so I don't really want the babies listening to what I got to say. I have a sense of shame. With that, this is Brother Hatim. I'd like to wish you a pleasant and a peaceful night. With that,